of student athletes into their school, and it's a very attractive location and attractive school, so they fit in very well in the Big West. John Pesquel is the 15th-year head coach for UC San Diego, and we are ready to go here in Fullerton, and the Titans are going to start with it. Fullerton pumps the first ball forward, and Serpa is going to let it go out here on the near side. San Diego's in the white, and Fullerton is in the navy. As mentioned, near the top, Fullerton chasing UC Davis and UC Santa Barbara tonight. The Gauchos won in the afternoon as they won their third in Big West Conference play and their 8th overall to get to 11 points in the conference. UC Davis, they also won, and they are now at 10 points. Fullerton can catch them by winning tonight and forge a tie, now a new tie, in second place. Right now, the Titans are tied for third along with UC Riverside, both at 7 points. CSUN and UC San Diego along with UC Irvine, they are in the tied for 5th spot at 6 points, which would represent the last position for the Big West Conference tournament. Cal Poly down at 5 points along with Sacramento State at 3 and Cal State Bakersfield at 1. Titans have beaten 2 of those lower 3 teams. Beat Cal Poly here last week. Got a trio of goals in about 8 minutes and won 3-2. And they also beat Cal State Bakersfield the previous Saturday. So getting into the part of the season that might test them a little bit, they just were able to get a result against UC Santa Barbara on Saturday, 0-0. Not a lot of shots in the match between the Gauchos and the Titans. So those earlier results today were UC Santa Barbara 2 and Sacramento State nothing. UC Davis 2 and Bakersfield 1. Davis won at home. Sacramento State also hosted in the afternoon. Those 2 Sacramento area schools are the teams that play in the daytime here in the Big West for men's soccer. Get a Fullerton foul. Fullerton in the navy. UC San Diego in the white if you're just joining us. Short play by UCSD. UC San Diego does not bring a real great goal scorer in. They aren't one of the teams that really racks up a lot of goals, not like the Titans, who are first in the Big West in scoring. Andrew Velarde and Nick Cerrito, who start up towards the front of the formation, they lead them with 3 goals apiece. 3rd minute, UCSD is first into the attacking end. And now the Titans clear away. Titans are led, of course, in scoring by Sebastian Cruz. Leads the Big West in goals and 4th in assists. And he's also the Big West points leader. Julian Madrigal starts it on the near side for the Titans back towards the circle. Possession touch to the center of the defense to Lalo Salazar. Mason Lamb starts at the right back. And Gio Calderon starts in the middle as well. Tyler Marquez on this side playing behind Jose Delgado, but Delgado more the defender than Marquez, who normally is in midfield or going forward. Ball forced down the near line towards Bonihani. Touch back towards the keeper by Sonnenstein. And cleared out by Peters. Header won by Gio Calderon. Second bounce is to UCSD, and they control in the circle with Ewan Clark. San Diego in the Big West, they're middle of the conference for goals for, 13 goals on the season, 7th in shots. And they get into the attacking third here, and they're in the box. Skating one through the arms of Cadono, but it trickles and stops before the goal line and is saved right there by the Titan goalkeeper. Andrew Velarde brought it in down into the left corner and tried to force it through the Titan goalkeeper, Tetsuya Cadono. Titans first in goals for. A lot of that, a good portion of what has them in the lead on the strength of the 10-0 game that they played against Life Pacific, but they're also number 1 in shots, 3rd in corners, where UC San Diego is 6th in corners. The Titans are 3rd in goals allowed per game and 4th in save percentage, but UCSD, they're 1st in save percentage. So, as mentioned, the Titan attackers are going to get tested tonight. Coming off one excellent goalkeeper on Saturday against UC Santa Barbara, right to another. Alan Kim on the near side could not keep it, and the Titans throwing it in deep near the corner flag, as we played 5 already here in the first half in Fullerton. Throw-in is for Madrigal. Back to Delgado, who tries to get and clear a bounding ball. Madrigal not a great touch to give him the chance to clear it. That gives up the throw-in to UCSD. Jake Serpa, their right back, throws it in. Rainbow ball to the front side, headed down by Gio Calderon. Back to Serpa on the near side. Inside touch to Kawamura. And now off the other way. Velarde dispossessed by Sotelo. Sotelo bangs it off of Gibson, and it's the Titan ball going up the line. Turnover by Fullerton. Good force there by UCSD. Now can they get it back down the line? They got it to Velarde. He goes past Lamb for a moment. Lamb catches up and gets it back for Fullerton. And then the force there forces the Titans to lose it out of bounds. Fullerton mixing this home game in, but they're coming up on 2 more road games, their last of the regular season, at UC Davis on Saturday in the afternoon and at UC Riverside next Wednesday night, finishing with 2 home games against Sacramento State and CSUN. 7 minutes gone by, and nothing really developing yet for the Titans. UC San Diego not eligible for postseason competition. They're going to go home and have 2 straight at home against Cal Poly and CSUN, then go at UC Davis and home against UC Irvine. Ball into the box and all the way to the Titan goalkeeper, Tetsuya Kodono. So it's Fullerton's goalkeeper getting his gloves on the ball first here tonight. Not a great start for Fullerton. Clark, the long possession, touch back to Sonnenstein. Down the near line, and Delgado lets it go, and Kodono's going to come out and play it. So after Velarde and Cerrito have 3 goals, nobody else has as many as 2 for UCSD. 5 guys have a goal each. And Alessandro Allen leads them in assists with 3. He comes back, plays it right there, and all the way back to the keeper it goes. He's out of Maryland. And for UCSD, little bit of representation across North America. Fullerton a little bit as well, and a little bit from abroad. Down the left side, the long one is for Madrigal. Chasing it. Serpa trying to turn it around. Serpa with 9 minutes gone by here in the first half. And he's going to chip on to the Titan side, sending Cerrito. Cerrito going to carry it into the corner. And use Serpa, who comes all the way back down the line. He started it way back 80 yards the other way. Kawamura coming back to Cerrito. Gives it to Allen, back inside to Cerrito. Might be a chance for a shot. There it is, and wide to the right. Good play by UCSD. They have the advantage early on, as the Titans' possession game has not got going just yet. Other 7 o'clock games in the Big West tonight, Cal Poly at CSUN and UC Irvine at UC Riverside. Scoreless, at least at CSUN, between the Mustangs and CSUN. I'd imagine that won't be for very long. And also scoreless first 15 minutes at Riverside. Scoreless here. We're 10 minutes in. Tritons having the first 2 shots of the game, 1 on goal. 1 foul on the Titans. Titans coming off that always big game at UC Santa Barbara. And had a chance, both teams had chances to get a ball in the back of the net. Only 16 shots between those teams. Here's the ball to the top of the box. San Diego looking for a foul. Can't get one with Alan Kim going down just at the top of the box. He didn't get a foul outside the box or inside the box. That had to surprise John Pascal and his bench. And the Titans come away without really being threatened. Late slide tackle got it done for the Titans. Tyler Marquez for the Titans. Goes left-footed to the top of the box. Cruz trying to bring it down. Now in the corner with possession. Looking for a little help. Back up the line it is for Jovel. Delgado in there helping out. Now back with Cruz. Marquez switching sides of the field to help out as well. 12th minute. Titans 9 shots on Saturday night at UCSB. Held the Gauchos at 7 shots. But George Kuhn said that once they took the red, then he was forced to have to settle back and play for zeros. Fullerton foul there. Julian Varela was given a straight red after an interesting kind of development. They're 15 minutes or so from the end. Thirteenth minute here. Get a free kick for San Diego. Looks like Serpa wants to chip it long. Down the near line for Kim. And hops out of bounds. Titans got into a situation where they ended up playing UC Santa Barbara's game just a little bit. When you go play Santa Barbara, you kind of have to focus on your game rather than playing theirs. Because if you start to try to retaliate, they'll start to take some of that contact and really embellish some fouls and work for some heavier fouls against you. It would have been also nice to maybe have some officiating that was a little more severe on some of the Gaucho fouls, especially when they were not playing the ball, which there are a lot of fouls that Santa Barbara committed and not even playing the ball at all. Down the near side, it's for Kim. Kim, veer now to the corner. Using Serpa, and they just missed the reconnect there. Another throw in for Fullerton there with Sebastian Cruz earning it. Titans starting to get into a little bit, but UC San Diego, you could foresee the Titans having to go back quite a bit. When they get up the sideline, they get pinned, having to force it back. Sonnenstein is there, defending it out for UCSD. Tyler Marquez, 15th minute. Trying to open up some space to Jovel. Sonnenstein able to pluck the ball away. Titans now, as we get to 15 minutes gone by, don't have a shot. Might not have a ball in the box yet, or possession inside the UCSD box. Cruz trying to play the passing lane, almost got it. Serpa keeping it for UCSD. And Clark's going to move it over to the far side. Gibson. Bananas ball down the far line. Kept it in all the way towards Cerrito. Valverde tipping it back towards Cerrito. Soft header there. And Calderon helps get Salazar off the hook there for a soft header. Don't want to give up too many of those. But UCSD didn't push forward with a lot of numbers. Still a battle. UCSD coming down and taking a couple of shots early. Women's soccer tomorrow night for Cal State Fullerton will be here. Game time is 7 o'clock. That's a full weekend here at home for Damian Brown and the women's soccer team. And UC Santa Barbara is coming in. Volleyball is on the road this week at UC Irvine and UC San Diego. And women's soccer coming back here on Sunday to complete the weekend, home against Cal Poly. Fullerton down to the last third with some full possession. The ball hooked across and just missed in there by Bonihani's attempt at a volley. Good sharp ball in there by Julian Madrigal from the right side. Almost led to something of a strike for the Titans. It was hit sharply across the box, and Bonihani couldn't time it up. Fullerton has been a little bit slow starting in some of these games. George Kuntz said the Bakersfield game, it was a little bit of a slow start. Last week here against Cal Poly, gave up a goal in the second minute, so that's definitely getting yourself behind. Titans had to overcome it early in the second half with 3 goals in the first 8 minutes of the second. We've played 18 minutes and still just the 2 shots for UC San Diego. The Tritons coming out of La Jolla. A lot of eucalyptus trees down on the UCSD campus. And that always seems very, very familiar to me when I go down there and go on that campus, because the middle school where I went to middle school out in Diamond Bar, a lot of eucalyptus trees there as well. Hard tackle there. Jovel not playing the ball. Allen did a pretty good job dancing with it. And the Titans giving up a foul to give up a definite set opportunity here for UCSD. Officially 2 shots for UCSD. They can be looking at another here. Or at least the potential for a shot. Might be a little long for a full shot here on the set for a direct effort on goal. So they'll work to those guys working on the side left of center. Cerrito there, number 9. Sonnenstein, their defender, down there, number 3. And Kim is going to give way to Allen. And Alessandro Allen going to go sharp ball, high, one-handed punch by Tsuzono, and then it got headed goalward and just wide left. Ewan Clark up in the air, got the second ball header there for UCSD. Dangerous opportunity there. Talked earlier about a Soft header by Lalo Salazar, center of defense for the Titans. And Cardona got up in the air. You could tell he was kind of thinking about what was underneath him and maybe jumped a little bit too early. Didn't get two hands on that punch for a definite punch out. The Titans countered back the other way. Hooking ball into the box is headed out. Second ball runs all the way out, almost to the midfield line. Allen runs it down for UCSD. Hits it long down the near side for Cerrito. And Cerrito is grabbed. That's going to get a foul called on Fullerton here in the 21st minute. And we'll get a direct kick for UCSD, side of the penalty area. Here's another shot. 21, Ewan Clark had the last header shot for the Tritons. Clark, one of their taller players in there. He goes 6'4", so the Titans have to definitely mark up on him. Usually with Gio Calderon, who's 6'3", 6'4" as well. Referee in there trying to separate them. As you see that matchup as it is right there at the penalty spot. Titans have two on the wall, and Jovel lurking behind. Just in case there's something funny that UCSD wants to run. Backside for Sonnenstein, the defender. Tries to get his cross off through Lamb, but got deflected, and now carried out by the Titans. There's the early ball through the circle, past Cruz, who let it go to Bonihani. Bonihani going to carry it down in the last third. Going to go for goal with a shot, a low shot. And that gets eaten up by Dominic Peters, his first chance to get his gloves on it. Coming up on the halfway point of the first half, and no score. Saturday in the Big West, Fullerton and UC Davis at noon. There's another afternoon game with Sacramento State hosting UC Riverside, and then 3 sevens. One down in La Jolla. For UCSD hosting Cal Poly. CSUN is at Bakersfield, and UC Santa Barbara. That's going to be an interesting one as well against UC Irvine. Still zeros as they near the half-hour mark up in the valley. CSUN and Cal Poly. Looked like Sonnenstein almost shouldered that ball forward, from up here anyway. And Kim, he kicked the ball pretty cleanly, and it got up there in the midsection of Tyler Marquez, and the referee calls the ball dead right there. UC Riverside has the first goal of the night against UC Irvine, 1-0 in favor of the Highlanders. They've played almost 25 minutes. The goal coming there in the 24th. Going to get a drop ball to restart. We passed the halfway point here. Few shots for UC San Diego, and just one for the Titans. 3 shots for UCSD. And both teams have one of the shots on goal. 4 fouls by the Titans, so they're chasing just a little bit here in the first half. Calderon coming back down the line for Bonihani. And Sonnenstein tried to hold him off and ended up touching it out of bounds. Giving it back to Fullerton, 22 minutes left in the half. Delgado couldn't quite get through that space to get it top of the box. UCSD trying to pin the Titans in here on the touchline. Titans will take it back the other way. Salazar, rainbow ball down this way for Marquez, headed up by Serpa. Volleyed around, a couple of shoulders on it for UCSD to control it for a moment, but then Clark loses it to Cruz coming back. Big West Conference Tournament starting November 2nd on the men's side. So Wednesday, Saturday for the first 2 rounds. And then a week off between the semis and the final, which is Saturday, November the 12th. Top 2 teams in the Big West for the men's soccer tournament get byes. So that's what these teams are continuously playing for. UC Santa Barbara in good position with 11 points. And the Titans tonight are trying to catch UC Davis for second with Saturday's matchup against the Aggies coming up at noon, which would obviously mean a battle for second place. So the Titans don't want to miss this opportunity here and get stuck on 7 points, where then they're just trying to catch UC Davis on Saturday and having to get the full result to get up to 10 points and back to Davis's level. Marquez trying to dribble his way through it. Valverde stayed with him. Cruz has it now for the Titans. Out to Mason Lamb. Valverde converging and closing him down. And now it's knocked around. Still not fully cleared. That was maybe a weaker effort on a potential clearance by Adam Walker, but he got away with it when Lamb came down and headed it to the keeper. 20 minutes left in the first half. Get our first sub horn of the night. And Max Carvalho, who was our player to watch for UC San Diego. He's a sophomore out of J. Sarah Catholic. Also played on the football team down there. Alessandro Allen comes out, as does Andrew Velarde. So 2 on and 2 off. Carter Jacobus in for UCSD. He's number 24. He's out of Bishop Montgomery High School. $19 minutes left. First touch there for Carvalho. Pass a little behind him. And couldn't keep it for UCSD. Carvalho taking up a spot in the midfield. And now UCSD trying to fully push it forward. Switching ball for Kim. He knocks it down to Serpa. Titans catch up to him and knock it loose. Talked about Titan women's volleyball. They're middle of the pack in the Big West Conference at 3-3. There's a number of teams at 3-3. Good 4 teams in Big West women's volleyball at 3-3. Top teams are Santa Barbara at 5-1 in third place. Cal Poly 6-1 in second, and Hawaii still unbeaten in the Big West at 6-0. And Fullerton women's volleyball, led by Nicole Polster in her second season, going to UC Irvine and UCSD. Pretty natural travel partners there in the Tritons and UC Irvine. The closest school for UCSD coming into the Big West would be UC Irvine. We're in the 28th minute here in Fullerton and still no score. Going to go back and check on those scores around the Big West. 2 other 7 o'clocks. Talked about UC Riverside in front by a goal on UC Irvine. They scored halfway through the first half. UC Riverside ahead. CSUN and Cal Poly, neither has tallied. Madrigal pushed down on the near side by Kim. Quick restart by the Titans. Titans push it off to the far side. Cruz holding it. Over to Lamb coming up. Marquez left foots the ball forward. Walker with a header. Second ball reaches Marquez. You can see where UCSD very much getting 10 players behind the ball. Delgado on the near side has an offside flag up on him. UCSD, one of the things they've done well tonight, I'd say, is keep the ball. So many teams get caught against Fullerton losing the ball and getting beat in the transition game. But they've done a good job when they've had the ball. They've kept the ball. They've moved the ball. Haven't generated a lot. Going back to earlier comments in the first half or early on in the broadcast, George Kuntz, I've asked some of the Titan coaches, where is UC San Diego in relation to that sport and their ability to compete in the Big West Conference? We'll see if the Titans can generate a counter quickly. Bonnie Hani going long down the middle. Won't reach Cruz, headed out. That was by Walker. 30th minute. Giving a lot of room to Marquez. He'll try to close it down and then loop one forward. Second ball was headed back towards Cruz. 3 subs coming in for UCSD. We're going to see number 8. Cooper Lockenbrook. Lockenbrook's a senior out of San Diego, along with Jota Yamaguchi, redshirt senior from Archbishop Mitty High School. And 23 is Jack Hagan, Torrey Pines grad down in San Diego. They took out Cerrito and Clark and didn't see the third. Now I see the third sub is Alan Kim. 5 subs on the field now for UCSD. Strong header there out of the midfield, going to get one touch back to the keeper for UCSD. Titans will try to put him under pressure, but cleared up. And the flick header by Yamaguchi towards Caravallo. Defended out by Calderon. Quick throw in by Caravallo. Put the Titans under enough pressure to force the short clearance. And UCSD controlling this first half here. Carvalho lines with the shot. That had something on it. Got knocked down in the box around the shoulders by Lalo Salazar. And that had something on it for sure. Titans are lucky that didn't glance off of Calderon. Fullerton on the counter. Doesn't reach Bonihani. Titans have not subbed yet here in the first half, and UCSD has 5 fresh sets of legs on the field. It looks like the Titans have Jorge Quintero on now. So maybe 1 or 2 subs on for Fullerton. Check about any others. That was Madrigal, made that Sotelo not able to keep it. So George Kuntz was saying that, well, when he used to see UCSD, he thought there were maybe some D1 guys on their teams back in those days, in the D3 days. That's how good UCSD was, and an attractive school to get kids that might normally go to UCSD, and the academic side steers them down to UCSD. Figured that they're not going to have any problem getting a grade of athletes that competes very quickly here in the Big West, and the standings prove that out. They're 2 wins and 2 losses already here in the Big West. But Titans may be looking for a second ball, but no one was in there for it. Yamaguchi right foots it up to Carvalho. Gives it right back to Yamaguchi, and here they go with Hagan trying to stay onside. Did a good job maintaining his onside position. Now he hooks the ball into the middle, and the one-time clearance by Salazar gives it out for a throw-in. UCSD, it seems like there's a couple of sports they've come on and represented themselves very well in Big West competition. Women's basketball, men's basketball, and certainly baseball. Not that I'm sure they would assume that they figured themselves to be a finished product as far as their transition, because it's still a little ways to go. But as far as being competitive on the field, it's not like there were a couple sports. I think the last team to come in to the conference was UC Davis, and there might have been a couple sports in there that were tough sports to compete in for the Aggies, but that has not been the case for UCSD. We're 11 minutes and change from halftime here in Fullerton. Coming up at halftime, Greg Paulus, Senior Associate Athletic Director here at Cal State Fullerton. He's going to be on with us late in the half, just as we're getting to the start of the second. Lockenbrook giving way here on the free kick. With 11 minutes left in the first half, Not much on that free kick. Knocked all the way back to Walker. Hagen moving over to help out on that side. Down for Jacobus. Slide tackled out by Mason Lamb. Keep checking those scores around the Big West. Getting late in the first half at CISA, no score still. Hagen, one touch, and now it's a left-footed shot by Carvalho. Kept alive in the box by Yamaguchi. Serpa trying to serve one up for Lockenbrook. Titan sub coming. 5 shots for UCSD now. That last one was blocked off the foot of Carvalho. And Cruz wants to go long to the other side of the field. And Peters squashes that opportunity. 5 fouls on the Titans, only 2 fouls on UCSD. So that would indicate the Titans are chasing, and they are. Nothing settled in the first half yet for the Titans. As we come down on 9.5 remaining in the first. Titan shots so far by Sebastian Cruz and Razik Banihani. Banihani was on goal. As is usually the case, and Carvalho been a starter most of their games, but on Saturday at Bakersfield he was not. He came off the bench and led them with 3 shots, and tonight already off the bench and he's leading them with 2 shots. And Serpa has their only shot on goal. Titans looking to send it long. Here's a shot, and it's going to go right to the keeper. Eric Serrano got on the end of that long ball in, right side in the box. Turn-in shot on an angle. Didn't really have much of a shot to beat Peters unless it bounced off the defender and beat him that way. You see where Sebastian Cruz comes all the way back, helps out Fullerton, trying to get the ball going in the right direction. First noticed that early in the season he'd be switching left side to right side, but he also goes to the back 4 and helps out. You see San Diego on a quick attack. It's to Hagen, and he's going to turn and fire up and over the top. What a decent attack there for the Tritons as Jack Hagen, Jr. out of San Diego, gets his shot off from the top of the box. Give you some Big West Conference women's standings. The Titans are tied for second there on the women's side with 10 points. And Long Beach State is 1 point ahead of them with 11. Titans are in a tie for second place with Cal Poly, which is one of their games coming up this weekend. It's the Sunday game. So that could determine who's getting buys because the Big West Women's Soccer Tournament has gone to 6 teams this year. We see Mason Lamb adjusting his socks on the far side for the Titans. Lamb chips it up for Serrano. Now coming on, Sotelo. Cruz had it for a touch. Now Quintero. Quintero back to Cruz, and they close him down and got a piece of it. Jacobus knocked it loose. Now carried forward by Hagen. And UCSD getting tough in the back end. And now getting out into space with the Titans transitioning back to the defensive end. Long for Yamaguchi, and that's going to get touched out for a corner. Not a lot of corners. UCSD, not a big corner kick team on the season. UCSD, middle of the pack in the Big West in corners with a standing of 6th place in the conference for corner kicks. This corner here is the first of the match. Lockenbrook looked like the ball came off the spot. Now he's going to left-foot it across on the front side, headed down and out by Sebastian Cruz. Run down by Serrano. Now the Titans are looking to counter. Serrano, Yamaguchi chasing. Serrano keeps it. Off to the far side. Titan fell down and got a hand on it. Madrigal coming up and try to stop. Doesn't look like didn't look like it was a slippage problem. Looked like he was just trying to stop. And as mentioned, coming up at halftime, Titan Senior Associate Athletic Director Greg Paulus. So pretty slow half for Fullerton, coming off a game that Santa Barbara held them to 9 shots. And here's a second ball shot for Hagen, and that is launched for a Titan goal kick. UCSD, some of these opportunities are coming from outside long range. We've seen the shots from Carvalho, top of the box, and now Hagen a couple of times as well, top of the box. But that's right now better than what the Titans are doing. 7 shots for UCSD, only 3 shots for the Titans. Big points on the line here tonight, because the Titans want to go to UC Davis on Saturday, tied for 2nd. And then we'll be trying to break the tie by getting the full result. Charlie Anguiano about to come in for Fullerton. Jesse Sotelo coming out. Charlie Anguiano from the LA Galaxy Academy coming in, wearing number 8. Quick restart by the Titans, a short one on the throw-in. And Delgado's ball finds nobody except Sonnenstein intercepting for UCSD. Now they're going to move it out the other way. Pretty surprising that Fullerton would have a whole first half. And if Fullerton has an edge in possession or has 50% possession here in the first half, I would say it's not necessarily attacking possession. It's more of holding possession. Maybe UCSD sinking back, and that's where the possession numbers are getting up for Fullerton. Because going forward, there's been an effort, but it has not worked down there to get possession, much less for shots. 3 shots in the first half for the Titans. See where UCSD, they sink it back a good 20 yards behind the ball where it's coming up. And crowding that midfield area, forcing the Titans to play it long and knocking it forward when they do. That was Kawamura pushing it off down the far side into the corner for Jacobus. He's got a left-footed cross here. Knocked up in the air towards the end line by Salazar, and it's out for the second UCSD corner. 2 minutes to the half. UCSD trying to knock one in here. They only have 3 first-half goals on the season. 10 of their goals come in the second half. Hagen on the far side. Big ball to the back post. Got knocked down by Sonnenstein. Maybe got it with a hand or some other foul in there. And the Titans will get it out of there. Coming down on 1 minute left in the first half. Titans in the first half. It's tough. So Titans like that quick attack, that counterattack. It's tough to do that against a team that's doing it to you. "45 seconds in the half. UCSD looking to play it down into the tight end one more time. That ball bounced in bounds one time and then went out. So that'll do it for the end of the first half. So that was not a great first half for Fullerton. UCSD holding the edge in shots and corners, and Fullerton having a tough time getting things going as UCSD getting lots of numbers behind the ball for their defensive effort. That was, I think, Salazar coming over saying, "Oh, it's okay. We got one more half to go." And at least the Titans got out of there. Not much going for UC.
Now that I'm a dad to two little girls who are playing soccer, getting them and their teammates out, and just experience what this university has to offer. Every team has a team fundraiser where they can actually keep the funds from that. And those funds go straight to the program. So men's soccer fans can give directly to men's soccer, and George Kuntz and his staff will use the funds just for this team. And we're unique. Most Division I programs go into kind of a black hole of a general fund, but we like the sport-specific giving, and we like that our donors get to see their dollars at work.
We have started the second half. As you see, it's UC San Diego in the white uniforms defending the goal to our right, to the south end, and the Titans are in the navy. And we're still looking to break the scoreless tie while we're also talking here with Greg Paulus, who's been here at Cal State Fullerton, since 14-15?
13, summer 13. I came in, and it's been a blink of the eye, but a great almost decade.
They have Allen bringing the ball, going left-footed shot. That forces Cadono into the save over the top, and we'll have the third corner of the night for UCSD right out of the gate here in the first minute of the second half. And as we get set up for this corner, have Allen bringing the ball, going left-footed shot. That forces Cadono. A lot of people want to know what an athletic director or associate athletic director does as far as overseeing sports. What does that mean?
Yeah, it's a fun job because you get really close to the coaches and to the student athletes. But it's a little bit of everything. So you work with your coaches, mainly on budget, scheduling, signing NLIs. We're big on character here, and we talk through a character form before we sign any of our potential recruits. So you're really working hand in hand with the coach and helping them navigate everything from compliance to academics, or if they need additional support, if there's a conduct issue, if there's any concerns from the student athletes themselves, you're a voice and a resource for them as well. So, each team's a little different. I always joke that women's tennis is one of my favorite teams because they are usually great student athletes. I think they've led each team in GPA, and I always tease my other teams about them. So. I've known George Kuntz for a long time. I've worked with him at UC Irvine and kind of dragged him over here, and we've had a good run.
Yeah, George, one of the successful coaches. When it's all said and done, and they're probably going to name the Big West Championship trophy after George Kuntz. He's won it so many times, both at UC Irvine and here at Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, you never want to play George twice. He always seems to get the better of you the second time you play. So just a soccer wizard, and I think he knows what he wants out of his players and knows how to peak at the right time.
At the right time. That's why he's always in the hunt there for the Big West Conference Championship in men's soccer. Fullerton, tough first half here against UC San Diego. Now we're early in the second. We get the first strike of the second half by the Titans. Razik Banihani with a shot, and that's saved by Dominic Peters for UCSD. As we talk with Greg Paulus, Senior Associate Athletic Director here at Fullerton, and talk about the dynamic with Jim Donovan and Steve DeTolo, who just retired, and Steve DeTolo was such a big part here at Cal State Fullerton. We just saw him retire last spring. but there were some projects that he stuck around for and really saw to the end. That baseball building project, the ESPN Plus broadcast project as well, and talk about how those things went here in a second as we get UCSD almost a scoring opportunity there for the Tritons. Let's see if the Titans can clear away.
Yeah, so Jim's job is the big visionary for us, and he lays the groundwork of kind of what he'd like to see, and we've got to kind of follow through. And Steve was a great number 2 for him that could take that vision and turn it into reality, and he's kind of taught me the way. So luckily, I still have Steve's phone number on speed dial, and there isn't more than a week or two that goes by where I'm hunting down something new, a Nike contract, maybe a bus contract or transportation contract that needs a little knowledge, and I give Steve a call just to pick his brain.
That's fantastic. Good to see that Steve DeTola still wants to give his time here to Cal State Fullerton as UC San Diego a second corner this half, and Cadona right there for the Titans. 5th minute of the second half, and one of the challenging things that you guys all went through was just navigating through the waters of the pandemic, and talk to us about what that was like. Even though for NCAA administrators, they're always going through compliance and those kind of different paperworks, but here at Fullerton and the NCAA at large, the COVID pandemic was its animal all its own, I'm sure.
Yeah, and nobody knew exactly when it was going to end, or the rules kind of kept changing on when we could play or how we had to test, and it was a lot of adversity our student athletes and coaches had to go through. I think during that time, what probably stands out most is how much help we have here on this campus. It wasn't just athletics trying to figure this out, but we worked with our student health center. Our VP of Student Affairs was very, very supportive of us and trying to help us navigate through this so we weren't by ourselves. And it was tough on the athletes, right? Some seasons got canceled. Sometimes you had to sit out for 2 weeks. You didn't have any symptoms, but you tested positive. So, they kind of went through it all. They had family that was sick that they were worried about, and sports is kind of the great release, and so to kind of get back here and get back to the normalcy of playing is a big deal for everyone. And I hope it's behind us, but yeah, every day was a little different. We had to draw up plans and get it approved all the way up the chain of command to just even practice or lift weights or create an outdoor weight room. Luckily, it's nice and sunny here most of the time, so yeah, we had a lot of challenges, but I think we kind of came out stronger. We did a lot of DEI work as well as a department, and really dove in, and it's something we continue today. We did a book review as a department, one of the good ones this afternoon, and it wasn't just kind of a fad for us. It's a movement, and so I'm proud of kind of what the department learned during that time and continues to echo.
And I'm sure the collaboration meetings were just endless. Athletic trainers and you talked about the health center on campus and all that. Coaches and
yeah, I mean, every day you found a new problem with it, and then we were getting Big West, involved as well, and what they were mandating. So we tried to follow the rules as best we could, and it's something I don't think anybody kind of wants to live through again. But I think we had good constant communication throughout the year and a half.
That's what it takes. Was there a point here in the last? It almost seems like overnight it was gone. But when was the last time somebody kind of mentioned COVID or something as far as having to deal with something, either student athlete related or whatever?
Yeah, I think once we got, I still hear it pop up every once in a while because somebody will test positive, but our guidelines and our athletic trainers are really on top of it on when to isolate and still not infect teammates. But really ending the basketball season last year when we had a mask mandate, getting out to baseball and softball where the sun was shining and we could be outdoors. That was the last time I think we really struggled with having to meet constantly or make decisions that would impact our fan base or our student athletes.
We've gone through so many big projects. Titans making a couple of subs here. We're early in the second half here. You've seen 8 minutes gone by here in the second, still scoreless. And UCSD keeping their hold of momentum here going here into the second half. Greg, we've had so many big projects here. We talked about the ones that Steve DeToll was here for and really saw to the end. What else is coming up for Cal State Fullerton? We've added a couple of teams and the aquatics project and all that. What could possibly be next here at Fullerton?
Yeah, I think every team's looking for a little upgrade, right? We've talked about, some scoreboard opportunities, some enhancing scoreboard opportunities. Really even getting this broadcast and ESPN production. We're making it better. It seems like each and every day. So I think it's really enhancing our facilities and enhancing what we're doing right now. There's still some things to finish up at baseball and softball, some branding opportunities. And so that's what you'll see next. A big pipe dream is maybe tackling Titan Gym. It's got a lot of history, a lot of character. But we'd love to update some of that character as well.
Absolutely, it's amazing. I've been here since I was a student. I've seen just the advancement of technology and how it changes the needs of a broadcast, either press box or what have you. And so yeah, people talk about old stadiums and old venues and such like that. Well, it's true here at the college level. As Cadona has that one go through his hands, he got upended though, and the Titans will clear it on a free kick. So Greg, yeah, that was all great stuff that you brought here, and hopefully people learned a little bit about what goes on here at Fullerton and how it's not all just snap your fingers and make it happen, abracadabra and little magic. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of planning and years of it for some of these projects. So you and the rest of the administration should really be commended, because there's schools that aren't as lucky to have so many big projects as UCSD without Allen. Going to go shot and go up and over, but we had softball and we had baseball get new buildings, and we had the broadcast facility here and the aquatic center, and adding in new teams, and there's a lot of athletic departments around the country, I'm sure, that are a little bit stagnant, but you guys have gotten a lot done in the last 2 or 3 or 4 years.
We have, and I'll add to that is we were very intentional of the money we had. We would hate to scale back projects. So, for instance, the baseball and softball building, we knew we had the money before we really started digging into that, some from student fees and other sources. And what we've used now is fundraising to make sure that things don't get outdated very quickly. And those fundraising funds will go to keep up buildings, use technology, and just help better our teams. And that's exciting, because sometimes you just bleed all your funds, all your resources to get something built, and you can't put those finishing touches on it. Well, we don't have to put the finishing touches on it, because we've got pipelines now to keep making things better and better.
Absolutely, because it always comes in a little bit more
cost
than if you look at SoFi Stadium and the money Stan Kroenke was putting into that building, and what it came out to be was probably double.
Right.
And so you can't go that far. You can't go double on some of these. You really have to be intentional, like you said. So that's another factor that people probably don't think about.
Yeah, it's there's only our teams are really good at stretching every dollar, and I think that's been an advantage for us for Titan Athletics, is we know how to make every dollar last and put it to good use. And so I think that's why we're seeing success with so many teams. It's not just one team getting to the postseason. Every team seems to have a shot every year.
There's something about Titan coaches that you see. You kind of scratch the surface, getting stuff done, and knowing what you have to overcome to get it done, but still being able to do it.
Yeah. You look across the board. I think that's kind of in our culture, and the coaches that have been here a few years, they kind of, without intentionally doing it, put that mindset into our other coaches. So as I'm working with a new, first-time women's tennis head coach, she's already meeting with Kelly Ford in softball and picking the brain of even Nicole Polster at volleyball, just to learn and soak up everything. And that mindset is prevalent. And I think we're all competitors too. So as much as we know how to use that budget, everybody wants to win and everybody wants to keep pushing it.
Fullerton, here as we've played almost 13 minutes in the second half. We're talking with Greg Paulus, the Senior Associate Athletic Director here at Fullerton. Shot for Fullerton. Peters
Let's go
on it, and it goes in. Fullerton scores the first one of the night, right as we crossed over from the 58th to the 59th minute. Great strike. We've talked in the first half how Peters pretty strong goalkeeping all season for UCSD, but that shot gave him real trouble. It
Let's
really
go.
bent down on him, and he couldn't pop it up and over the crossbar. Cal State Fullerton goal here, 58 minutes into the match, scored by Justin Jovel. So we're glad he stuck around a little bit because you got us our first goal here.
You know, I say I'm not superstitious, but if I have to move seats in order for us to score, I'll do it anytime.
Whatever it takes. Competitive spirit takes over, and Fullerton scores the first one of the night. Kind of been under siege at certain times tonight. Well, Greg, thanks for joining us and coming along and giving us our first in-game interview with one of our administrators here at Fullerton. And we learned a lot. I learned a lot, and hopefully everyone else out there learned a lot too.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Mike. Thanks to everyone on your team, and you're doing a great job. And let's get back to the second half.
Absolutely. Thank you, Greg. So Greg Paulus, our Senior Associate Athletic Director here at Cal State Fullerton, joined us for a good 20 minutes here as we got through the end of the first end of halftime and into the second half. And Fullerton scoring the first one of the night. Justin Jovel, assisted by Sebastian Cruz, in the 58th minute officially. The goal scored exactly at 58 minutes in to tonight's match. So Fullerton is the team that gets on the board first. That's unbelievable for the Titans. Check the shot advantage, 9-5 right now in favor of UC San Diego. But the Titans have 4 of their 5 shots on goal. UCSD, only 2 of their 9 shots have been on goal. Valverde stopped there by Mason Lamb, but out of bounds it goes to UCSD. UCSD against Bakersfield on Saturday, able to score 2 in their win. Valverde with a cross. Clubbed out by Calderon. After San Diego got the second ball, now it's run out of there by Fullerton. A possible counterattack of 5. Going to get the overlapping run with Delgado and then taken away by Clark, who's back there. Up the line here, we have a chance at a UCSD counter. Into the circle, and too much on it, taken back by the Titans. So Justin Jovel for the Titans has the first tally of the night. Great strike. When you shoot from outside, you're hoping to get that movement. Sometimes it's side to side. Every once in a while you hit it just right, and it's up and down movement. We see Peters about to take the goal kick, and with him up around the 6-yard spot, he was a little too far out to try to get a punch for the movement they had, the late movement they had on it. But also certainly struck too hard for him to try to catch it. We've played 1 hour, and we have 30 minutes left in the second. As Cruz, see if we get a corner on that. Yep, off of Gibson there for UCSD. This is the first corner of the night for the Titans. First corner of the night for the Titans here. Coming down on 28.5 minutes left. Second ball was put middle by Madrigal, cleared away by Asa Gibson. Chased by Calderon. And knocked back to the keeper. UCSD not able to really get there and put that much pressure on him. Out in the midfield, knocked around, and see about Titan control here. Go back to the scores around the Big West. They play 3/4 of the 90 at CSUN, still no score, zeros for Cal Poly and CSUN. Talk about where those teams are in the standings. The other game was UC Riverside. They got a goal in the first half on UC Irvine. They added 3 more goals in the first half against Irvine. That's pretty outrageous. Here are the Titans. No foul given on that hard challenge. Mason Lamb heads it away from Valverde. Valverde lost a shin guard in the process. Easy pickup, though. Cruz on a through ball into the corner. Back for Serrano. Misses Serrano. Bonihani had the one-timer. Got blocked away. Shot from outside, and that's a strike by Madrigal. Too much on it. 4 goals in the first half by UC Riverside. They're in the second with 30 minutes left, and they have a 4-zip lead. UC Riverside scored in the 24th, the 36th minute. They had 3 goals the last 10 minutes of the first half, and the 3 goals were in a span of 7 minutes. A couple of subs on for UCSD. Once again for Big West men's soccer, UC Santa Barbara, 11 points they won today at Sac State. UC Davis won today in the afternoon. UC Davis is 1 point behind the Gauchos with 10 points. Titans are in the tie for third with 7, along with UC Riverside. So Riverside is going for a tie for second as well. CSUN and UCSD, along with UC Irvine at 6 points. But UC Irvine, they have 2 Big West wins, and that's all their wins for the season. So they are not necessarily the strongest team, although they did get the Titans 3-2. Fullerton with a 1-goal lead, 58th minute goal by Justin Jovel. Jovel now leads the Titans with 3 goals in Big West play. All 3 of Jovel's goals are against Big West play, and that has him leading the team. Sebastian Cruz with 8 goals, Bonihani with 5 goals still lead the Titans for the overall season. 25 minutes remaining. UC San Diego going to have to get a little bit better opportunity than they've had most of the game. I'd say early on, first 15 minutes, they might have had their best chances. But most of their efforts have been from outside range. Haven't really got a lot great on crosses. Their best shots, except for the ones early, have been from top of the box range. You see Jacobus, you see Yamaguchi come in. That's a 2-on, 2-off sub for UCSD. Taking out Kim, and we'll check the other number in a second. So because of the position in the Big West, with where Riverside is and where UC Davis is, these 3 points for the Titans, ultra important. Can't get around that. Okay, congratulations to Titan women's soccer players Caitlin Brinkman and Kaylin Raybone. They were able to garner Big West Players of the Week awards last week. Brinkman was Offensive Player of the Week. Caitlin Raybone was Freshman Player of the Week. And that was off one game. You don't get that a lot in conference play as far as soccer goes, or basketball, even a sport that usually plays 2 times a week. Titans played 1 time last week, and they got honors as Brinkman scored a couple, and Raybone was in there big time as well, having 2 assists to get herself Freshman Player of the Week. And women's soccer, their weekend starts tomorrow night, home against UC Santa Barbara. Game time is 7 p.m. Sunday against Cal Poly. And, of course, they're all important in the Big West. This is basically the halfway point of the men's soccer season. Well, that's a tough tackle right there. Max Carvalho. 2 Titans going in on him from either side. Late whistle, but didn't seem like there was any other way that call would go. So UCSD chasing 1 goal to tie and get a result here. They have 2 wins, 2 losses in Big West play. Jacobus out to Clark. Over to Serpa. Titans got in front of him before he could line up his shot. And he pushed it off to the corner too far. Goal kick Titans. Big clearing ball by Fullerton. UCSD winning on the first and the second. And Yamaguchi bringing it up. Out to Serpa. Yamaguchi. Towards Hagen. Try to get it to Carvalho. Interrupted by the Titans. And Bonnie Hani's header will secure the possession for Fullerton. Lamb chipping that ball onto UCSD side. See if the Titans can get it back here. Bonnie Hani behind Cruz. Jovel can't help it out. Hagen starts it off to Yamaguchi. Numbers not really going forward for UCSD. Hagen has to do it himself. Gives a low shot to the keeper. As we're down to 20.5 minutes left. Titan turnover started that one for UCSD. UC Santa Barbara coming in tomorrow night for women's soccer. They're bottom 4 in the Big West Conference at 6 points. Titans are top 3 at 10 points. Here's Carvalho. Titans get in front of him. Jacobus over to Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi brings it back center and lines up a shot. Kadono saves it off to his right. Hagen. Back to Gibson. Boy, that was a good-looking shot there from Yamaguchi. He faked like he was going to push it off to the corner, and he came back middle to his left foot. Carvalho gets a shot through Salazar, but it's stopped by Kadono. A shot, Kadono saves it off to his right. Something brewing here for UCSD. A shot, Kadono saves it off to his right. Something brewing here for UCSD. At least on that possession, just couldn't get it through Kadono. But some of their better shots, some of their better offensive possession of the night. Off the second ball, Titan possession with Jovel. Titans trying to draw out these long possessions. Calderon chased by Hagen, but gets some space to clear it now over to Sotelo. Sotelo against Gibson, and Gibson's going to give out the throw-in. Hope that is going to go the other way, but it doesn't. Sandeforo coming in for Fullerton along with Tyler Marquez. You see Sotelo's going out, and Bonihani's going out. Check that shot number again. It's still in favor of UCSD. 12-7 in favor of the Tritons. They have 5 shots on goal. The Titans have 4 shots on goal. Foro number 9, originally from Norway, is an FIU transfer. And it's Marquez on the throw-in to Madrigal. Doesn't cross it. Marquez, Madrigal. Trying to get through traffic. Got help from Serrano. Bangs the cross off of Clark, and it's out for a Titan corner. Haven't been many of those. This is going to be the second corner of the night, second of the second half as well. Short corner by Fullerton. Back over to Marquez. Off the arm maybe of Carvalho. Always a tough call on that kind of handball. You see where the referee is saying that he thought Carvalho got his hands away from his body. I probably wouldn't argue that call. Certainly not being on the Fullerton side, but UCSD, it's kind of that borderline call that's tough to take when it goes against you. 74th minute, 17 minutes remaining. Tides looking here at a set piece, trying to get goal number 2. Blasted in there by Cruz and carried out of there by Hagen. That was Jovel on the header. Second ball reaches Marquez. Inside touch. Titans will fight for it back. Marquez had it for second. No space to clear it, though, for UCSD. See about Delgado down to Foro. Back to Delgado. Maybe going in for Serrano, but that's much too high. In the men's conference standings, CSUN is at 6 points. So they're trying to really push their position and be one of those teams that's getting up towards 9 or 10 points. So they need a goal here tonight against Cal Poly. They're playing up in the Valley. Cal Poly is at 5 points. They'd like to get back in the race. Santa Barbara at 11, UC Davis at 10, Titans and Riverside at 7, CSUN at 6, along with UCSD and Irvine. Here's Gibson. Gibson going to have a chance to shoot and hooks it right to the keeper. Not a lot going to come off that shot unless it comes off the keeper. Gibson hit it pretty hard, but didn't hit it hard enough that it wasn't going to be caught. Always tough, though. I mean, it looks like a straight-on angle, but it's really not. You're coming in around some traffic. You don't have necessarily a straight look on goal. If you go right or left, a lot of players don't like to aim for the right or left post because there's a chance they miss. But if you miss and miss towards the middle, it's going to go right to the keeper. Jacobas down the line for Cerrito. Valverde and Cerrito are their leading scorers with 3 goals. So if UCSD is going to come back, it might be on the backs of them, or Carvalho is chasing it right now. He is their leading shot taker. Coming down on 14 minutes remaining tonight. There it is. Beautiful shot of the moon. It was just full the other night. Now it's a waning gibbous and still pretty full. Great look tonight, guys, by our ESPN Plus crew here tonight. And that was rising out of the east tonight. Down towards Foro, going to be a goal kick UCSD. Here's the goal kick by Sonnenstein. UCSD still within striking distance of a tie. A tie tonight would feel like a loss. Fullerton last week at UC Santa Barbara. Talked about that game earlier. They were going for the win, battling with UCSB. Always one of the tougher matchups in the Big West Conference. George Kuntz and Tim Baumsteig going back a long ways in their coaching rivalry, with George first coaching at UC Irvine here in the Big West. Hagen down the side of the box. He's going to launch. They'll need that one to stay in bounds, and it does not. And when Fullerton went down a man after a stray red card to Julian Varela, 16 minutes left, that forced the Titans to have to settle back and play for the zeros and play for the 1 point instead of chasing that goal, which would have given them 3. Might have tipped the standings in the Big West just a little bit. Another game that's tipping the standings, again, not in favor of Fullerton, is not getting any points down to UC Irvine. Titans lost 3-2. But when they say it's just a matter of getting in the Big West Conference, yes, just a matter of getting in. You'd have to win 3 games within a week and a half, but that's fairly doable. You're used to playing 2 games a week anyway. Here's Cruz lining up a shot, left-footed shot, trying to hook it over to the left post. So that Big West Conference tournament, if you're not one of the top 2 seeds, you don't get a bye in the first round. You start your tournament on Saturday, November 5th, trying to win 2 games to go to the final, and they're a week apart. The team seeded 3 through 6 start on Wednesday the 2nd. The 3rd and the 4th seeds host the team seeded 5th and 6th. And you have to win that game and then win a Saturday semifinal against a team that's rested. But if you win that game, now you're resting for a whole week before the final. 80th minute. So, yes, it's important to get one of those top 2 seeds just for the factor of rest, because this 9-game conference season, it goes pretty fast. It's 4.5 weeks of playing Wednesday, Saturday every week. We see Jacobus coming off. Back in, Andrew Valverde, sophomore out of Torrance. He's a UCLA transfer. And Serpa to throw in. So Santa Barbara and UC Davis right now holding the top 2 spots. So Fullerton, if they can hold on here 1-0, they'll join UC Davis in a tie for 2nd. UC Riverside, they're also going to forge a tie for 2nd because they're winning tonight handily over UC Irvine. The crazy thing about UC Irvine, even though they're going to lose handily tonight, get this one over the top of the goal on the cross by Carvalho. UC Irvine still in a tie. Oh, really, it's 6th place solo because UCSD does not factor in. It's tie for 6, but UC Irvine gets the spot because UCSD is not eligible for the postseason tournaments. Seven minutes left in the first. 7 minutes left in the game at CSUN. Still zeros between Cal Poly and CSUN. If UC Irvine's going to lose, they'll stay at 6th place. But if Cal Poly is able to tie, they would jump into a tie for 6th place. And then UC Irvine is sharing that last spot. 9 minutes remaining here in the second half. Serrano going down into the corner for Cruz. Cruz shipping it in back towards Serrano. Is going to be cleared out left-footed by Sonnenstein. And it comes out of bounds. Yes, that was one of our camera guys getting down in there on the action. I'd say his reflexes are good. That's Cerrito down the near side, chased by Lamb. Out to Allen. A slide by Mason Lamb takes it back for Fullerton. And now Lunt just to clear it. 8 minutes left in the second half. No overtimes this year in college soccer, either on the men's side or the women's side, and that's going to continue on into the postseason. They're just going to go straight to a shootout. Penalty kicks will decide after 90 minutes, which is interesting, and it's the opposite direction of the way things used to be. Last week when Cal Poly was here, Steve Sampson is their head coach, and he was at Santa Clara, and they played like a 4 overtime, almost 5 overtime game in a national final before it was decided as a draw. And one year in the 80s, there was an 8 overtime game because they didn't. As UC San Diego in the box, Titans cleared it out for a corner. Then I guess back in the 80s, the idea of deciding a soccer match, you play 90 minutes and deciding it on something as something of a game of chance almost as penalty kicks didn't seem to fit the old guard. So there were a lot of have its injured Titan here. There are a lot of governing bodies throughout the world, including FIFA, that did not have penalty kicks in to decide matches in big events. Of course, that changed in the 80s and into the 90s when the World Cup in 1994 was decided on PKs. Mason Lamb having trouble cramping up. Titans are a little bit thinner at the defensive position, with Kaya Redette Gregory out tonight with an injury, and Ernie Cueva sitting out because of yellows. And Mason Lamb is playing really his first extended match tonight in a while. He played in the Santa Barbara game, but before that he was out for a couple. George Kuntz is over at the center flag. You see the Titans are trying to reorganize things, and George Kuntz is trying to ask what his situation is going to be, trying to bring on Lamb back in. Because he wants him in here for this corner, being one of those backline players and one of the taller players the Titans have in the lineup tonight at 6'3". But he's going to have to sit out here on the corner. Luckily, it's a low corner, and on the front side, Cruz boots it out of there. Lamb coming back onto the field. Have the ball come right to him. Over to Cruz. Knocked forward by Gibson. Headed by Allen. Cleared by Salazar. Now Fullerton off a bounce at midfield. Foro into space for Serrano. Middle is Delgado. Backside. Marquez had a chance to shoot and didn't. And that's one where Marquez probably should have pulled it and gone for the shot to try to put the nail in. Pass up a shot there. He was open on the left post. We're down to 6 minutes remaining tonight. Titans a chance for their 8th win. Last year, 3 wins for Fullerton was all they had coming out of the pandemic. And UC San Diego rather even got them 3-1 down in San Diego and down in La Jolla. Get a time call here. The ball is all the way up in the far side stands. Going to tell you about first place UC Santa Barbara. They have the 4 games remaining at Irvine, home against UC Davis and Cal Poly, and at UC Riverside. So a couple of tough ones in there for the Gauchos coming up. We'll see about the UC Irvine team coming off the big loss tonight. UC Davis, right now in second place. They're going to host the Titans on Saturday at noon, then be at Santa Barbara, home against UCSD, and at Sacramento State. So they have some tough ones too. Hagan over to Valverde. Tries to get it down towards the end line, and Lamb stops him and boots it out of there. Foro. UC Riverside, they're at Sacramento State on Saturday, then home against the Titans next week on Wednesday, at Bakersfield, and home against Santa Barbara. So anything can happen. Still in those Big West standings. As UC Santa Barbara will have a slim lead on UC Davis, UC Riverside, and perhaps Fullerton if the Titans can hold off UCSD. With 4.5 minutes left, the Titans are on the attack. In for Serrano. Back towards Foro, shooting on an open goal and missed it wide to the left. Titans a great chance on the counter once again. Cruz was running left post. Brought it back inside for Serrano. And then it bounced over to Foro. 4 minutes from the end. 4 minutes from the full 90. Foul by the Titans. Now the restart by Serpa. Allen, kind of like Sebastian Cruz, he goes all over the field to help out their possession game. Hagan bends it in, and that's Salazar heading it out. Up to Marquez, who loops it back behind himself to Cruz, and now the Titans are out countering again. Towards Serrano. Sonnenstein there. Can't hold his footing. Through ball for Foro. But Foro wasn't running for a through ball. He was coming to it. 3 minutes remaining. That's Gio Calderon. Not often that you're going to go to your own corner to try to go time stall. You got to say that's fairly unusual. Probably not unheard of, but it's a little bit unusual to go to your own corner to time stall. Calderon couldn't win it for Fullerton, though. Had to give up a throw-in. And Carvalho. Carvalho, pretty strong throw in front side. Bounce off Hagan. Looped over by Cerrito. And the Titans have to give up a corner there as Kawamura was there on the back post, and the Titans couldn't get it around him. 2 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. George Kuntz had nothing but great things to say about Max Carvalho, who was one of our players to watch tonight in this one. Because Max Carvalho and George Kuntz were neighbors for a number of years. This ball in the box, and it got into the midst there. Nothing clean for UCSD. But they continue to knock on the door here as it's still just 1-0. Allen. And they let it go to the backside for Carvalho. Top of the box for Valverde to shoot right into Cadono. Whoa, heart's beating fast here in Fullerton as how many bodies in the box for UCSD. They had so many players in, they could let the ball go in a couple of spots and still had coverage there on the back post. Then got it to the top, and that's been their shooting range right there. But haven't been able to steer one around Tetsuya Cadono. Hagan, strong forward touch for Valverde. And he shoots it right through several pairs of legs, and it's out for a corner, UCSD. Had that ball been on the post, Cadona would have had nothing to do but to watch it, because it glanced off a shin guard and it went through a pair of legs, if not two. 50 seconds remaining. Even the goalkeeper's in there for UCSD. Peters in on that tackle. It's still in the last third for UCSD. It's Walker off the back of Mason Lamb. And seconds ticking off the clock as UCSD grabs it. They're still looking for the tying goal here in the last 30 seconds. Carvalho got it pretty far in there the last time. This a throw in 20 yards out. Front side for Hagan, knocked down by Lamb. Kicked forward by Foro. Here's Peters. He's going to give up a throw in, and that's going to do it. Fullerton, with 15 seconds left, can take up pretty much the whole final seconds. Boy, that got interesting big time, and Fullerton is going to escape and survive with 3 points. 1-0 Fullerton. Justin Jovel's goal in the 58th minute, right at 58 minutes gone by. CSUN and Cal Poly have gone final. They were zeros. Late in the second half, UC Riverside still a 4-goal lead on UC Irvine. So, give you some of the updated Big West standings here. UC Santa Barbara, they won today. They got to 11 points. UC Davis won today. They got to 10 points. The Titans joined them at 10 points. Riverside is about to join both the Titans and Aggies at 10